Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Tactical Way of the Year podcast. Happy New Year to you. First episode of 2020, and we're excited to have my friends here from Pulseology, as John grabs my thigh. But we talk about New Year's resolutions and fitness and what you can do to set yourself up for success and not be the statistic of the 95% of the people who quit on their fitness journey in the first 90 days. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. What's up, guys?
Hey,
how's it going?
What's going on?
Happy New Year. This will be the first episode of 2020. A little bit of a good way to start it. So these guys are from Pulseology Fitness Club. So we've got the sign back there so you guys know where they're from. But these are the guys that I work out with and go to the gym with. John is my personal trainer, and he's been holding me to it. Am I doing okay?
Doing great.
Are you sure?
You're still there.
I feel like I might go backwards. I might go backwards this month.
No.
It's December. I've been off my game. So we'll see. We've got his dog down here. Anyways, but it was great timing to have these guys in as we move into the new year. And everyone is on their New Year's resolution kick. And this is when everybody signs up for the gym and goes to the gym. And then, would you guys say 95% of people drop out of going to the gym within 90 days?
Correct.
So I'll get more information about that in a minute. But so that's super interesting. So we're hoping to give you guys some tools to use in order to maintain going to the gym and stay in shape, and then just a whole bunch of other education along the way in terms of fitness and mental health or nutrition and all that kind of stuff. So once you guys, I don't know where you want to start, tell them a little bit about yourselves, because these guys all have a military background as well. So why don't you let's start with John.
Everyone knows John.
Give them a quick little bio.
Hey, I'm John. I was from Phoenix City, Alabama. Joined the Navy after high school. I just want to get away. There's nothing much fun to do around there. No water, except a couple of lakes. But want to see the ocean, get out of town. Got out, found a personal training job along with my engineering job, and I started falling more and more in love with it and helping people. And so I, finally full-time personal trainer.
Hold on, let's back up. You skipped a big thing here. You joined the Navy.
Yes.
Because you wanted to be in the water?
Yeah, underwater, on top of the water.
So John's kind of a low-key badass, did some cool stuff in the Navy, which he won't tell anybody about. But you did some neat stuff. Anyways, so that led you to physical fitness, training, all that stuff. And now here you are with Pulseology as a personal trainer, helping change people's lives, get them back in shape, and all that.
Yeah.
Right?
So still doing that. 7 years personal trainer or in civilian world. Still doing that, enjoying a little bit of running on the side every now and then.
A little bit.
A little bit. That's the most minimal
He's so low key.
I ran 4 marathons last week. That's it.
Yeah, come on. You run a race every single weekend. You just did a half Ironman or something a couple weeks ago.
That is a little bit.
That's a little bit.
1 day out of 7.
Racing. And then the training in between.
Right,
Man. Anyways, he won't promote himself, so we'll have to help him along the way.
Keep it a secret. So I've been doing that for a while. Enjoy helping people, pushing people along the way, including you. Doing pretty good. You're, I think, 20 pounds down now.
Yeah.
So you're
See,
still.
I'm not lying, you guys. John was on here once before. We'll have to put a link down in the description of the previous episode with John where I was really getting started. So we'll be curious to hear kind of my progress points along the way, but cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
Still here, and with these guys, they're helping a lot. Even though they're Army and Marines, but we'll hold it against them.
Right on. JP, what's your story? I don't know. We haven't really ever met.
I'm pretty elusive. It's hard to pin me down. So I grew up in a little podunk town called Graham, Texas, right outside of Fort Worth. Went to college, a couple different places. Got bored my senior year and decided that enlisting would be a good option. Figured I'd just do 3 years, jump out of airplanes, blow some stuff up, and call it a wrap. Go back to grad school, and then enlisted, went to the 82nd Airborne, 9/11 happened. Next thing you know, I'm E5 in Afghanistan with the 82nd, 0304, came back, got commissioned as an officer, took a recon platoon to Iraq in 0506, got out, went and worked for a couple of companies, got recalled. They had this little thing back in the day where they could recall people back, so they recalled me in 09. So I did 09 through late 2010, another run in Iraq and Special Operations Command, and then came back, had enough, and then basically started a couple different companies in Savannah. They were fun, I cut my teeth, learned how to run a business, and then really wasn't what I enjoyed doing. And so then I had the opportunity to start something I was really passionate about. So I started a mental health counseling company, and then also partnered with Scott to do the Pulseology piece for the health and wellness side of the house. So I've done a lot of different things, and everybody always asks, like, why'd you do this? Lost both my parents 2 years ago within 30 days of each other for health reasons that were very preventable. My dad was overweight, chronic, heart disease, stuff like that. Had a heart attack, killed him. My mom had breast cancer, took her down, but she could have prevented that too. There was things that she could have done to increase her health and longevity. It didn't really take. And then the mental health piece, like I always tell people, I've gone down range, taken hundreds of soldiers with me, only lost a couple since I've been home. Probably lost about 11 now to suicide, so it's near and dear to my heart. So, just like these guys, trying to make a little difference in the world and make it a little better place, and through what we do for a living.
Good deal, man. That's awesome. What were the other businesses that you were doing that you were?
I had a commercial cleaning company. I had a floor restoration company, and then I worked as a logistics vice president for Target, and then I worked for Ingersoll Rand as a production manager and production scheduler. So it's all manufacturing type stuff.
I got a buddy that works for Ingersoll Rand. His name's Dan. He actually owns a company called Combat Flags.
Okay.
So he makes these American style flags that are multicam and different colorways.
Nice.
But he works for Ingersoll Rand, and he's like head of branding or something for them. So
I was never that important. I was just a schmuck online.
No, it's cool though.
Good time,
it's
though.
interesting that
Yeah.
he was in the Army as well. Cool, man. What's up, Scotty?
I'm Scott. All right. So basically, I started on Hilton Head, lived there until about first grade. We moved to Spartanburg, South Carolina, near Greenville. Most people know that. 17 years old, I joined the Marine Corps. I joined infantry, so I went to Parris Island. I went to Camp Geiger, did the whole infantry training. The last week, that's when all that was 2006, I joined. The last week is when all the special forces come through. I was kind of something that excited me that I wanted to do. I ended up...
This gotta be good.
So ended up getting, sniper school was coming through, recon all these cool guys, and got selected for one, like, super secret one. I was all excited about it. Ended up a week later at 8th and I in D.C. So I was I was selected for the honor guard. They didn't really know what was happening until right then. That's where you're going. So that's like Arlington. I did Arlington Cemetery. Wore dress blues every day. Pentagon
man.
stuff.
That's brutal.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things. It wasn't what I joined for. It wasn't what I wanted to do at the time, and it wasn't until later that I appreciated what I was doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like seeing the other side of the house.
Of course. I mean, that's an honor to be able to be there doing that. I've been there and watched all the changeovers and all that kind of cool stuff. So you were a part of that. That's what you were doing.
I did all that. I was on the guard for when President Ford died, and then the Rotunda. I was in that rotating guard for like 5 days, and that kind of stuff.
Cool.
The last couple years, I was stationed on the Navy Yard, finishing things out. I was like every guy in the military. I went through a little bit of L4, L5, bold, back issues, which ultimately led to I was honorably but medically separated honorably. I got out. I met my wife during that time. Got married. Went to college, Georgia Mason University. Played around with some boxing during that time. When I got out of college, I finished that super fast. I went full-time personal trainer. So I was more like a master trainer. I worked more the medical side of the house because of my own personal issues. Did that for a while, moved up in the managerial aspects of it, and then ultimately started a family. And that kind of reset everything. Like my mental,
priorities changed a little.
Everything changed. Yeah, like we were doing well up there, but we wanted to get closer to family. We wanted a slower lifestyle and all that. It's different up in D.C. So we came down here. That's where I ran into old Johnny. We were doing the whole PT stuff, and then started with a couple different. The business grew. It turned into Pulseology. I met this guy. We were doing like the whole.
You've been right since.
And then it all went to no. And then The nutritional aspect, the personal training into his world, and then those grew, and now we have the Pulseology integrative healthcare that we have on Hilton Head that's growing, and now we have Pulseology Fitness Club, and just kind of just bridging the gap between everything.
Which is a full gym and
Yeah. We're bringing a lot of the other stuff that we have, the other services, and bringing that into the gym as well.
Yeah, I mean, because you guys do it all. I mean, you do acupuncture and chiropractic and massage therapy and
Physical therapy, and
yeah.
the aesthetic side as well.
Cool, good for you guys. All right, so a little bit of background. Awesome. It's so interesting. Do a lot of people from the military find themselves in physical fitness world? Is that because it becomes such a part of the lifestyle?
I think there's a lot of guys who do, and you'll see them in I think it's just part of the one. So no matter what branch you're in, at 0630, we're all doing the same thing on every post. Usually, it's part of what's ingrained in the culture, no matter what.
Right.
So to me, it's pretty normal. But I've seen guys and girls doing different jobs, different arenas, and they'll still go to the gym, still work out, and that's in the last 20 years of my life, the most steady thing: change jobs, change careers, change states, change everything. Working out. Never changed.
Yeah, it's the constant.
Yeah.
There's a mental side to that. Oh, closer to the mic.
Oh,
There's a mental side to that too, right? Of a constant and having it not change, and that it's been a routine, and which I think will turn into our conversation about New Year's resolutions and all that kind of stuff. Because, like we mentioned briefly before, so New Year's resolution, everybody's going to go to the gym, they're going to work out, they're going to get in better shape, they're going to lose weight, they're going to all these different things. But you guys being from that industry said that some massive amount of people quit going after some period of time. So what are the stats on that?
It depends on what route they go. If it's like a personal training world or route, normally it's 12 to 15 sessions before they kind of stop. If you're looking statistically across the month, just going to the gym throughout the year, no matter what month they start, doesn't matter if it's January or later, it's normally about 3 months in, 95% will never step foot in the gym again for that year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so you say on the personal training side of it, it's less, is that because, and I know what it is for me, but because there's somebody there to keep you accountable, that you're paying more money, so you're financially vested in it.
Financially, there's the structure
more than
there.
a typical
results.
$20 or $40 a month gym membership that's month to month. You're it's $40, whatever.
Yeah, I think a lot of it too is you're vested in it no matter what with the cash to begin with, and then on top of that, if you have a good trainer that builds a relationship with you, you kind of you have an accountability mechanism. So all of a sudden you walk into the gym, you haven't seen your trainer, so it's you want to make sure that it's somebody that's going to help keep you honest. I mean, it goes back to what you're talking about with the military. It's going to PT. It's just we all hang out together. It's the one thing we all do, no matter what age, no matter what rank. We're all in the same formation doing the same thing.
Right.
And, there's a certain amount of enjoyment with being miserable together.
Misery loves company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I get that for myself. I mean, if I would have just joined the gym, I could come up with 1,000 reasons every day to not go. I've got to do this thing. I've got to send this email. I've got to create this video. I've got to make this post. I could find reasons to not go. Mm-hmm. But when I start paying all this money every single month to you punks.
Is it the money, or is it you don't want to hear John get on you for not going?
Well, John won't let me not show up.
Exactly.
You know how many times because so for you guys watching, the gym is 13 steps that way.
It's 50 feet away.
It's the building behind our building. It's right there. So when I'm 5 minutes late because I'm trying to wrap something up, or I'm changing, or I'm in the bathroom, John will come walking in, and he'll have some pre-workout or something for me, and he'll be like, "Come on, let's go." And he just drags me over. I'm I was coming. I'm just a few minutes late. But
he doesn't believe that.
well, no, a lot of times. Oh, there has been times I've completely forgotten. He'll show up and be like, "What's up, man?" It's 30 minutes, 5:30. I'm supposed to be there at 5. I'm got nothing to do this afternoon. Huh? He's like, "Are we working out or what?" I'm like, "Oh shit, that's why you're here." But it's convenient. That's another good thing. It has to be convenient, right? So I've told this story a few times, but I've done working out of many different styles in the past. And some things are for people and some things aren't. One thing that I always say is I tried CrossFit for a little while because I had a bunch of friends that were doing it, and they all kind of pressured me into going to CrossFit with them and all this stuff. And it was cool the first couple times, and I was dang, this is crazy, this is intense. But I always left with a splitting headache, and I always, like, the next 3 days, like, I just couldn't function. I couldn't move any part of my body. It wasn't like just my arms or just this or just that. Like, I just couldn't function. So then I was just shut down for 3 days. So I was less productive with the rest of my life because I just beat the shit out of myself doing CrossFit. And then I was like, drag myself back in there at whatever time that was 45 minutes away from here. And it was like a 2-hour ordeal to get there and work out and come back. And I was like, I don't have time for this. On any level. I don't have time to have transportation there and back. I don't have time to recover from this nonsense. And I didn't like my splitting headaches every time I went. And I was like, this is not for me. You know, so then I was doing some personal training out of there with some other folks, but which I enjoyed. It wasn't that bad. And they're great people there. So it's nothing against them, but it became a convenience thing. I was still traveling 40 minutes, fighting traffic in the morning, all these things. It was just not, I was like, this is not going to, I knew as soon as I started doing it, I knew that it wasn't going to last long because I don't have that kind of time.
It fit into your lifestyle.
It just wasn't going to happen. So I think that's a big component for people is convenience has to be a thing. And you can't do it because someone else wants you to do it. You have to do it for yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Exactly. So that's the biggest thing. Like I was going to CrossFit because 3 of my buddies like peer pressured me. Come on, man, let's do it. Oh, come on, fatty. You know, and you're like, all right, I'll come hang out with you guys. So, you know, you kind of commit to it for a few months, and then you're like, there's no way, you know. But what are some of the other things, even just to keep people from dropping out in those first 90 days? Like, John did a very good job with me with not letting me bite off more than I could chew. It was like baby steps. Yes. Just like crawl before you walk before you run. Like there's things that I'm sure he would love for me to change 3 months ago, but he's like,
vegetables.
We'll get there. You know what I mean? Like, so he's been pushing this vegetables things on me, like harder and harder as we go. And he hasn't, even nutrition, that's something we've been talking a lot about, and we'll get there in a minute, I think. But mentally, I'm not there yet. The holidays have been here. It's been like absolute chaos. I've had all kinds of, we've been hiring people, been building this out, Like, I'm lucky I'm eating anything at all, let alone the right shit. Mm-hmm. At least I'm going to the gym so that I can eat the crap a little bit. But there's also a certain, I don't know, it's such a catch-22 because there's a lifestyle like that you want to maintain or live a certain lifestyle. So like not everybody has the same goals. Man, I'm like hitting on all these. I feel so smart because there's like, I'm hitting on important stuff. Like you got to have goals for your lifestyle, what you like. Yeah. I don't want to be an athlete. I don't really want to eat. Like I know it's good for me, but there's things that like I'm not gonna go out of my way to eat certain things. Or I'm gonna eat what's convenient because that's what I need to do in order to do other things. But then there's the balance, right? Listen to me using all my big words.
You basically answered all of it. Yeah. So look, this is kind of.
But I think it's what people need to hear, that they're not alone in that, and that like it's okay to eat.
Everyone
to run through the drive-through sometimes if you need to.
So basically, this is kind of the way we do it. With anyone that's setting up and doing a new program, we do like a 90-minute whatever it takes kind of consultation to sit down and answer a lot of these questions. What you said is it has to fit into the lifestyle. Of course, the way I kind of present it, or John present, or anyone on the team presents it, if it sucks, it's not going to last. So it's figuring out of all these multiple different pieces, from the nutrition to the exercise to the programming, what you can do, how it fits now, and how we build upon it. As you get used to it and it becomes a routine, then that's what you do. You start with baby steps, you move forward, and you just keep going. Everyone that quits in those first 90 days is because they go all in 1,000%, and that just sucks. And eventually it's going to suck more than it's worth, right? Right. But if you take slow and steady and you go forward, then that's what makes you get to the end. It's not just like tick off that sprint.
A personalized plan for what this person needs.
What you do, what you do and he does is completely different. Right? He's faster than you.
Yeah, from a psychological perspective, there's this thing called SMART goals. So it's like specific, measurable, attainable, replicable, and on time, which makes it simple. It's like if you come in and say, hey, I just want to look buff. What the hell does that mean? That can mean a lot of different things for anybody. Like when I used to train people in college, you're like, what diet should I do? I was like, the one you'll actually stick to for a while. Because you could go keto for the next 90 days. Great. You lose a lot of weight. Everything's awesome. And you stop. You're going to yo-yo back to the same old weight. Things are going to get worse, and it's not going to do you any good. So it's like making it specific to what you want, what you need, and what you can actually do. You only have 45 minutes a day? Fine. 45 minutes a day it is. How can we maximize the 45? And how can we adjust your nutrition so that it's actually good for you? And it goes back to, we just had this conversation in the office. Like, that's great that you gained 20% strength, got 15% faster, lost 5% body fat, but now you're sitting on the bench because you're broken. You can't do nothing because you blew out an ACL training.
Right.
What's the point? You know, it's something this training and working out is not supposed to be something that breaks you. It's supposed to be something that makes you healthier long term. And that's like, you know, that's why we have the acupuncture and all this stuff. So it's like preventative. So it's like our whole catchphrase is redefining quality of life, which is, you know, I want to be 85 years old and walking around with my grandkids and still doing the stuff that I did when I was 40. I mean, I'm 43 and I have about damn near the same PT score that I had when I was 28 years old and was a recon platoon leader. It's like, that's how I want to live the rest of my life.
Right. Well, a lot of people, I think, get caught up in when they want results fast, right? Which then leads to bad behavior, which leads to injuries, which leads
Just
to
a means to an end. It's not that. Because then if you get that super fast or you get there by any means necessary, and then you're like, oh, good, I'm here, and it's just going to stay like that. That's when it just comes back, and it comes back fast.
Big word is like people, they see results and that's good and it feels good, but they never have like a goal in their head. And even big goals, little goals, you know, they never really have something that they're shooting for, and they don't realize it. Oh, here's the results, and it just flies by. You lost 5 pounds, and then they just forget about it. And then 10 pounds goes by, and then it just yo-yos, you know, it goes back, not preventable or, you know, not long lasting. So it helps to set little goals and, you know, check it off or mark it off, have on your phone, whatever different ways, but you got to make, you know, attainable goals.
Good thing you set goals for me, because I don't.
I do, yeah.
I don't. He's like, all right, next time I want to see you below this weight. All right, we're focused on, let's get a little stronger, or, you know, whatever the case is.
Right.
But I go in there and I just go in there and set records all the time.
So you could ride your one wheel.
That's right. Mostly because I just go in there wearing jeans, which makes, what do you call it? Farm strong?
Country
strong.
Country boy strong. Yeah, there you go.
I go in there in my jeans all the time.
Yeah, I like it.
Whatever.
I'm from Alabama, so it's okay.
It's okay. No, I mean, that's the biggest thing is being able to make it to where it's, I mean, hell, at the end of the day, it should be fun. Like, when we talk about doing PT in the military, it's like, there were actually some days that just sucked, but there was a lot of days that were actually kind of fun, like, you know, running in the mud, doing things like that. It's like, you should want to go to the gym a little bit and work out. It should be somewhat fun. It should be like, to me, it's like, I get up at 4:30 every morning. That's why I go to the gym, because it's the only time that he doesn't call, nobody calls me, there's no emails going off, no text messages, nobody's harassing me between 4:30 and 6. I'm the only one awake, except him. And now he's getting up at 5:45, and now he's like, "What are you doing?" Blah, 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 blah. Or now he actually got on my ass the other day. I was like, you know, you shouldn't text everybody in the company at 5:15. Not everybody's wife's probably so nice they're in it. They go ding, 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 ding.
Sending like mass text out. I'm like, dude, it's like 4:30. Like, just pissed the entire staff off.
That's all right. I'm awake.
That's when that's when I get to think by myself. The rest of the day is like,
You talk about mental states. I mean, that for me, like throughout the work day, business hours from like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. to like 6 p.m., it's so hard for me to focus on the creative aspects of things I need to do. But then it's 6 o'clock when I know that the business world has shut down and the other companies that we're dealing with aren't emailing, and I'm not like stressed about this person's gonna email me back or somebody needs this, and like people have gone home. I can just think free and clear about whatever I need to do, and I've always worked best from like 7 to midnight.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yeah, a little notepad in the car while you're driving, or
No.
no, don't do that.
hey Siri.
Hey, Sarah.
Like everyone's focused.
I was like, it's gonna go off.
He doesn't take a car to the gym.
Yeah, I ride my one wheel.
Oh, okay.
You know, because I'm too lazy to walk 13 steps.
It's 12.
Skateboard.
But you know what? The one
baby
wheel for
steps.
me though is like that's my like 1 minute of like enjoyment of like I enjoy what I do every day, but it like I don't think about anything for like that little bit of time. It kind of prepares me to walk into the gym because I hate going to the gym. Like it's better now than ever, and I enjoy the time that Giant and I spend together because it's like outrageous. Like it's so ridiculous. If anybody could listen to what we talk about when we're working out,
Hopefully no.
Hopefully not recording anything.
and
to be published.
then you know, I mean, well, I won't say that out loud. But like, there's just we create our own entertainment, and it's fun, and it's pretty ridiculous, right?
Yeah. Well, going back to the one wheel, it's weird, but that's actually a goal that I first had for you is to be able to not fall off of that. So you start you're doing more balance stuff and
I know.
ninja stuff, and
I'm
still
doing
haven't
good.
fallen off. So.
No falls. I mean, that's how I broke I didn't break my leg on the one wheel. I broke my leg on the skateboard, on the electric boosted board.
Oh, damn.
That thing's
So we
I don't
wanna-
ride that very often because the one wheel's more fun. Yeah. All right. So all right. So let's start. Day one, somebody joins the gym, and what do you guys suggest for them? Like, what are the things they need to do? Step one, they join the gym. They need to set a goal for themselves.
Set a goal, set a plan.
And if you can't do it, have somebody do it for you. Because like that's why we do we do free fitness assessments. They come in and they go for personal training assessment. We put them on a Fit 3D, so we get a full blown body scan of them. Actually get their body comp. We have real data, real numbers, and a picture to show you what you really look
That
like.
thing is motivating.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know how many other gyms do. Well, one, I don't know how many gyms offer personal training and free consultations. Like, you guys offer a lot of stuff and provide a boatload of value for the little bit of money people spend on like a normal gym membership.
Right.
But and I don't know what other, like if Planet Fitness is or wherever these people live, what kind of gyms they're going to and what value that they provide. But like the Fit 3, if you guys have a chance to do a Fit 3D scan, like there's a 3D body scan. You stand on a thing, it spins in a circle, it scans your body, and it gives you all the measurements of everything, your thighs, your biceps, your posture, your waist, your like anything you can imagine, body fat, weight. It does balance, so like show you your heel and toe weight on each foot and all kinds of stuff. It's really interesting, and it's very motivating, because when I first went, I was like, I don't feel fat, I don't feel overweight, I don't feel incapable, I don't feel any of these things that would normally make you go to the gym. And then I saw my 3D scan. I was like, damn, I'm a fat ass.
You're used to yourself, so you don't really see, the backside of you, a full picture or a 3D. You don't see all those angles of yourself, and you see what you see in the mirror. Maybe, just brushing your teeth and you pass by or putting on clothes, but you don't actually see what your arm measurements, your back, your posture. You don't see all those things.
Yeah, that's even the best part, at least as far as we're concerned, is the postural analysis. It shows if you have pelvic tilt, that weight distribution you're talking about shows if you have lumbar issues and stuff like that. And that's the real, we talk about quality of life or picking up kids or whatever it is. And it's like, that's the stuff that matters first. Start fixing that. And then with the 3D image, whatever the one that you already have, 3 months, 6 months later, you do it again, it does the 3D shadow overlay. So you three-dimensionally see what changes and how that happened. Because sometimes you forget on the way.
Yeah, the overlays is crazy.
Yep.
I was doing that myself, even
I've
just
seen
in
some of
Photoshop
yours,
and overlaying
yeah, I
them
saw
like
the
that.
Photoshop she did.
And it's like, dang, when you see the results, like that motivates you. You're like, dang, I would have been that bad. And then if you can find a way to make it fun and just keep going and don't overcommit yourself to something you can't do, and you're just like, all right, 3 days a week, that's good. And if it happens to be one day or 1 week because of a holiday or whatever, like no big deal. Try to make it 3 days next week, whatever. But the overlay is just crazy. And I was like, damn. And then you start to see some of the body, like you can drop a lot of weight. I feel like you drop a lot of weight quickly on the front end, especially if you make some nutritional changes. And like I cut out a lot of sugars, started drinking more water, because you don't realize how much water you don't drink. John's like, you drink plenty of water? I'm like, yeah. He's like, how much water do you drink? I'm like,
Last week,
maybe I don't really drink enough water.
Holiday.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, shoot, I probably drink, like in the beginning, I was lucky to maybe be drinking 2 bottles of water a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's probably pretty normal, or maybe even more than some people. But then I've kind of fallen off lately, as the chaos of the holidays and working like a dog and not thinking about myself and trying to keep the wheels on the bus here. But
Life.
yeah.
We'll make up for it.
Can't wait.
Write that down.
But yeah, so cutting out the sugars on the front end, like I dropped a lot of weight fast. And now it's really kind of almost plateau, because going back to what I was talking about earlier, like having to change my nutrition and having to be mentally prepared for that, it's gonna be a huge shift for me. I've always been a terrible eater. And Travis, my brother here, will tell you, like I've been a picky eater, and I've always eaten like a 5-year-old. Like chicken fingers, french fries, pizza, mac and cheese, cookies, like
Perfect diet.
Yeah.
5-year-old daughter's diet.
I'm
Man.
telling you. Like I halfway jokingly like oh, I'll just take the kids menu. Like I'm not kidding. Like that's how I've eaten my entire life. And I've always had this ridiculous metabolism, and I've always been nonstop, and everyone always said, well, when you get to your 30s, it's gonna catch up with you. And they're right.
Yeah.
Like here I am, like shit, now I gotta really start thinking about this.
That's why I dragged you into the vitamin store, try to, adjust some snacks. I didn't try to, change your whole menu, because it's not really going to happen.
Yeah, it's tough. So it's like, the front end of that has been a slow change on the nutrition and educating me along the way of like what a good fat and a bad fat is, or this or that, or peanuts this, or whatever the case is. But now I think it's time to start getting serious about it, because I've kind of plateaued on weight loss. Like, I'm getting stronger, but I'm not losing any more weight. Like maybe a pound or two last time, right? In the last month, versus like the 15 pounds I shed immediately. And then it's just been like a pound or two each month after that.
That's when nutrition's going to be even more.
That's going to be the
important
game changer now. Like, I won't make probably hardly any more progress
until you change that. I'm not saying you have to add the vegetables immediately, but.
Well, the other thing too is just eating enough. Yeah. And I've talked about this with Jordan. If you guys saw that video with Relentless Mama, explain to them what happens to your body if you don't eat enough. Like, most people think, oh, I'm just going to go to diet. I'm going to eat less food.
Most people, take that route. I'm just like a starvation aspect. I'm going to the gym. I'm not going to eat a lot. I'll lose weight. That's like the worst thing ever.
Big words is anabolic, catabolic, or, put it simple, is you're burning more than you're consuming. And, like we said, like a car, like you run out of gas. People do that every day, and body makes up for it, holds more fat, you're burning away muscle, all these things. You're not hydrated. You're just all these things that, account for, and you got to make up for it. And your body is a lot smarter than what our brains are. It does it for you. And, if we just grasp onto it and find a way to fix it a little bit, but it's just some people just don't grasp onto it, and that's where, we'll help them a little bit more.
So what's the simple solution? Break that down for me. What's the ideal amount to eat? So I recommended people go buy a smartwatch recently to help track your calories, because I think
MyFitnessPal is pretty easy, or like the Fit3D will tell you your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, what you're burning per day, like exact calories. So, everyone is different. Everyone weighs different. Male have more muscle usually than female.
Right, and your body, just living at your body weight and who you are and what you like, you will burn X amount of calories per day, period. If you're laying in bed sleeping, you're burning
at rest
calories at rest. Yeah. Right. And then you add a little bit of exercise into that, or like, I'm up and down these stairs all day, every day.
Yeah.
What's your lifestyle? Are you a UPS driver? Are you like delivering packages? You're going to burn a lot more calories than I do sitting at my desk.
Correct.
Right? So you have to understand how many calories you're burning. And then if you don't eat enough food, your body goes into starvation mode, right? And then your body stores that fat because it needs to store fat, because it needs fuel, because you're not eating enough.
It thinks that you're not going to get that food later because you're not getting it now. So yeah.
So
that same person, they might be eating way too much. They might be eating, saturated fats and cheesy and all this other nasty stuff, and they're just way over.
I feel like he's trying to send me subliminal
person. he's like kicking you
under the
table. Yeah. So then there's the overeating side of it, or even just eating the wrong stuff. That's like dirty fuels. So John makes analogies for me all the time that are car related, because that's the only thing I really understand. So he talks about having gas in your gas tank, and then you had a really good analogy about sugar and how for a gas tank, and it was like too much sugar is like overfilling your gas tank. Like, it's going to cause, you're going to have spillage, it's going to overflow, and that's like the fats, right?
Even timing of your sugars, like, so eating, like, say before you go to bed, you eating 3 cookies, and that sugar, you're just you're slowing down your metabolism, you're going to sleep, you're not going to use those sugars as much. Say if you ate those 3 cookies before you worked out, yeah, it's not the best, but you're actually going to burn more of that fuel in your workout.
Use it.
So even timing is a big thing.
So I think another good analogy for this to understand the amount of food you should eat is, it's like putting gas in your gas tank, but it's like filling up a quarter tank and then trying to drive across the country.
Right.
It's like you're going to end up in like reserve limp mode, trying to keep as much gas as you can. The performance will suck because your car is going to be like, there's not enough fuel. We got to keep it RPMs low so we can get the most economy out of this thing. And then there's different qualities of fuel, right? You got 87 octane and 89 octane and 93 octane. So it's like, you want shitty fuel or you want good fuel? We want race gas. John needs race gas. He's going racing every weekend.
Occasional running.
Some light running.
But I think that's a good way for people to try to understand, because it clicked for me. Once he started explaining to me in these like stupid layman's terms that Beav can understand, I was like, oh, Got it. Fuel octane levels. That's like food. So you're saying spinach and kale is like race gas. Got it. And cookies is like 87 octane shit for your lawnmower. Understood.
You don't
Like-
want to be a lawnmower.
No, or do I?
87
But
octane to twin turbo.
I think that those kinds of analogies are things that people need to hear for it to click and unlock. Because when you start talking and using big words and starvation, and like put it in a way that I can understand. Because I'm not a health nut, and like you guys understand that, and other people that might be into fitness and health may understand that. But I got a lot of dudes listening to that are just like put their head down and grind and work and need to hear it in a way that they can understand, that clicks with them. And literally his analogies to me have been the best thing that's happened.
I mean, that makes sense. It's like, and even for us, it's like sometimes we take all the terminology, all the stuff for granted because that's all. I mean, it's what we do for a living.
Right.
So there's other people that a doctor or a carpenter or something else starts talking their business. You're like,
Yeah,
break
way
that down to
over
me
your
in
head.
like dumbass terms right quick.
Yeah.
Because I need to understand. So to us, it's like John does that really well with the analogy.
kills
piece.
it.
And it's just, and that's part of like knowing who your client is. It's like knowing who the customer is. It's like you build a personal relationship. It's like he knows you know about cars versus somebody who doesn't know about cars. You gotta still figure out how can you
Tailor that
relate
message.
exactly, and translate it for them in essence, basically.
Right.
Some people they don't want to buy a smartwatch, or they don't want to. Some people don't even have phones. Some 80-year-old people, and they don't even have a cell phone.
Are you living under a rock? I know that you're like a caveman.
Actually, sometimes I do. But some people don't do all these ways of things. They want it simple. Tell me what to do, and that's what I'll do. Some people, they don't want to change what they're doing, so we have to find some ways to find little things to change in there. And even if it's drink one more glass of water, one more bottle of water, that's going to do a little bit of difference. And then later on, we'll add something else. But it's find a ways of what you could do and then change from there.
Talking about telling you what to do, and it goes back to why I pay these guys to tell me what to do, because like I don't have the mental capacity currently to even understand what I should be doing in the gym and what movement works, what muscle, and why that's beneficial to me. Or John just goes, follow me, come on.
Well, and it's
Do
more than
this,
that.
do 12 of
Yeah.
those, and do 12 of these, and then
So
do it
there's-
again.
there's lots of
and
different-
that was one round.
And round two. No, there's a lot of people, and there's different reasons. Everyone thinks that personal training or whatever it is they all come in for the same reason or the same goal. Everyone has different goals, right?
Wait, everyone doesn't want to just look good naked?
And that's goal
that's
one,
great.
right?
That's one usually.
But no, we have personal trainers that'll come in and they'll pay and work with personal trainers, not because they don't know they know what to do, but it's the accountability aspect of it. It's that I don't want to have to think about myself. I'm doing something, I know how to do it, but it's a whole nother thing to watch the other. John knows what he's doing, but if he's working out and he had one of the other trainers or myself or whatever with him, there's little things like, oh, bring your elbow back. Shit, I didn't want to do that. No, there's little tweaks to make it that much better. So
There's the other side of it too that prevents injury. So like I came in after this injury I broke my knee. I broke the top of, I don't know if you guys know. So my tibia, it was a tibial plateau fracture. The whole top of my tibia, I broke it off. So they ended up having to put a plate and screws and screw the top of my knee back in place. But we had to be very careful with that. We're still very cautious because there's some movements that I do that I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. And he's like, all right, we're done. We're not doing that.
there's a
We're
there's
doing
a big
something
difference
else.
between push
You know what I
through
mean?
and hold off.
Yeah, so there's some things that you may be like, oh, I'm gonna dead squat some ridiculous amount of weight because it's cool and my buddy's here next to me and I want to look strong, not realizing you're probably doing more damage than good, and that it just takes time. So that's something a personal trainer he'll all right, well we can still work this one muscle, but we're gonna do it this way instead of that way, so you don't hurt yourself any further because we want that to heal or get better or whatever. I wouldn't know how to deal with. I was like, oh.
That's that higher level of thinking and
The knowledge and
the
experience that
knowledge,
you guys have. Yeah.
Basically, what you explained, we all saw that in the military. That's that whole mentality. Don't suck it up, keep going. Don't worry about it. It hurts. Keep going. Who cares?
Don't go to
Yeah.
sick
At
hall.
least that's how it was in the Marine Corps. Is that how?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no.
so-
We didn't have sick hall.
Round, keep going.
Did they have lots of rucksack carrying in Nathan?
Well, on the weekends. All right, noted.
Yeah, that's why you're back.
Yeah, and that's
back
why the
issues.
VA is out of control and that's why it's all changing. We were talking about that today before we came over here, and that the physical fitness test, the way they're doing the training, a lot of it's changing because it breaks people, right?
Just having
Yeah,
too
I
many
mean,
injuries.
Just,
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it like, so, you know, I was talking to somebody yesterday, like, I don't understand why you have 3 blown discs. I was like, why you're 6'2" instead of 6'3.5" when I joined the Army? I was like, real simple. By the time I put on a flak jacket and IBA, by the time I put on embedders, battery packs, an M4 with full mags, 9mm, ASIPS radio, boom, 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 Kevlar, go through the laundry list. I'm like, I'm a 210-pound man with 103 pounds of gear, and that's on an assault pack.
Yep.
Like, what do you think happens to my spine after I run
Hey,
and walk
compressive.
around and do a 3-day patrol? It's just going to compress, and all of a sudden, you know, it's like I slide off a cliff somewhere, throw out my back, or accidentally jump off a roof chasing somebody. Whoopsie. So next thing you know, there goes my back. Tore my labrum, same thing. So there's movements now that I just can't do, or I can do, but I'd be an idiot for doing them because I'm going to hurt myself.
Cautiously, yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, let me go deadlift 600 pounds right quick. I probably can, but then I'm not getting out of bed for the rest of the month. What's the point?
Yeah.
That's why I do the running for them.
You did running for everybody.
He runs for me.
Yes. It's a
hate
collective
running.
team for running.
You
He
guys
can,
hate
I
running?
I hate it, and he does it all.
You hate running too? Or you
Always
run?
have, yeah.
Yeah, 82nd Airborne just burned me on it. I was like, I had a platoon sergeant, that's all he wanted to do every day for PT. He's like, all right, we're 7-mile run, 5 mile. He must have been kin to you, John. I swear to God. That's all that dude was doing. It was like 7 miles, 8 miles. I was like, hey, can we do something else? No, we're good. I was like, okay.
Yowzers. Cool. Any other final things that you guys want to put out there, say, or things that I'm not asking the right questions around that would be helpful for the people listening?
To me, the biggest thing is just start something and set real simple goals. Don't make it too, you know, it's just like anything in the military we've ever done. It's like, hey, you're going to do a 50-mile road march with 100 pounds of gear. No, I'm not doing that. But if you break it down into 800-meter increments, next thing you know, you're halfway into it, you're like, shit, that wasn't that bad. Let me keep going.
Right.
So, and if you can't get those goals set, go to John, go to Scott, go to somebody, go to a trainer, go to one of us, and we'll set those goals for you and make them really attainable. So, like you said, with the Fit 3D, it's like once you see that first 30 days or 45 days and you see some legitimate progress, you're like, damn, okay, let me keep doing this. I mean, that's the whole thing is people want to get better, but if you don't get the progress, what's the point?
Right. Micro goals.
Micro, yeah, and that's what kind of leads you. We're talking about the mental aspect of it. You have those little milestones or those little goals. You hit those goals that recalibrate. Like, oh, that gives you that motivation.
We just talked about this morning, but in terms of some of the projects we have going on around here, but if you set small goals along the way and you achieve those, it creates a momentum that you're just you keep winning. You're like, I hit that goal next, I hit that goal next, I hit that goal, versus I'm never gonna get this done. You're reaching so far out that you feel like you're never gonna reach it, and you just give up.
Yeah, and that you
just
explain the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, it creates that momentum.
Keep winning. We want everyone to be winners, not wieners.
All I do is win. Didn't we talk about this the other day? All I do is win.
You're gonna, play
No
that
matter
song
what.
background.
Oh man. Do you guys offer anything? You guys don't offer anything online for the people that are listening from their homes, wherever they live.
We're in the process of creating that. And
Are you?
We'll be launching that soon. Yeah.
Well, then go on the website or on the Facebook page and just shoot us a question. I mean, we'd be happy to answer anything, any questions you have, training, health, mental health related, anything. I mean, that's what we're here for.
All right.
Just to
So
help people out.
Facebook and Instagram is Pulseology
Yep.
Fitness, or just Pulseology?
All
We have a few of them, but yeah, Pulseology is the embodiment of the entire company. We have Pulseology Fitness Club, gym related. We have Pulseology Fitness, fitness, and personal training related.
And the website is just pulseology.com.
biz.
.biz. Cool. Guys, thank you for coming on, talking about all the fitness things. Everybody listening, I wish you best of luck with your New Year's resolutions. If this is something that you're trying to accomplish, set little goals. If you're in the Hilton Head, Bluffton, South Carolina area, and you want to come be a part of Pulseology, I recommend you do so. I'll come work out with you one day, and these guys will, you can sign, you can, what's that?
So don't scare them away.
Yeah,
You
I'll
don't
try
have
not to. But these guys, sign up for a membership if you live in the area. You can get the free consultation and get headed on the right way. So thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Happy New Year's to everybody listening. And make sure you like this video if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe, leave ratings, reviews, and all the things. We'll see you guys in the next video.